for the Doc of Schlock, Mr. Campbell!
Outside waiting to take me to the airport. How you guys doing? You doing all right?
Groovy!
All right. Now, raise your hand if you're dead broke now. Those of you who have money, raise your hand. The hell with you for not coming to my table now. Who had a great time here? Raise your hand. Awesome. Amazing. On the subject of money, those of you who have anything left, actually raise your hand if you are broke. Okay, now of those who are raising your hands, raise your hand if you cannot pay your rent. Because of that, you poor dumb bastard. You bought horror pictures and not paid your rent. Well, that's all right. Nobody needs to eat at your house because you have a framed photograph of John Carpenter who signed it. Who wasn't here. You got suckered in. Now look, folks, I had an awesome time here. Did you guys have a good time too? And I hope you did. I hope you did. Is anybody here, I'm just curious, is anybody here in cosplay? Because I missed so much good cosplay. Anyone here have cosplay? You, Miss, stand up, please.
Nope, well, I'm going to sit back down.
Hey, I love it. Oh, she's Kelly.
Oh!
Now, who else is in cosplay? You, sir. Yes, Ash. Love it. Awesome, Ash. Look at that. Ash rocking a full beard, too. I love that. Future Ash. Just two, that's it? None? One? Oh, let's see. That's good. Hey, wait. Awesome. Two Ashes stand up. All right.
Just a couple of assholes.
That's right. That's right. All right. Now, for the Ash on the left, I want to hear, we're going to do an applause-o-meter. This is
oh boy.
Crap. This is awesome, amazing cosplay. Are you ready? Ash on the left. Ash on the right. Oh, my heart taking over. We got Ash on the left, sir. Sir, come on up here. Come on up here, Ash. That is a badass Ash. It really is. Come on here. Hop up. Let's see what you got here. You have badass black Ash. He is all those things. How long did it take you to make that thing?
Since the start of Ash vs. Evil Dead back in 2015.
Speed is not your forte, is it?
No.
What's your name?
Chris with a K, last name Hamilton like the musical, but unfortunately I don't get any royalties.
Oh, well, we'll give you the royalty, the royal kick off the stage, but you were awesome. Let's give him a round of applause, folks. Oh, yeah, sorry, we just wanted to give you this. And speaking of the Campbell, folks, I got two people introduced to you right now. The first is an amazing director, a swell guy, a talented man, full of energy, amazing talent, and incredible authorship. He happens to also be my brother. Please welcome Sam Rami to the stage. He's a little brother.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, now raise your hand if you're raising your hand.
Hey, sit down. Finally, folks, I want to introduce you one of the man of the hour, the second man of the hour, the star of the Evil Dead trilogy, and Ash vs. Evil Dead, and another 1,500 television series that need not be mentioned here, Mr. Bruce Campbell.
He's mine. That kid would never move out of my house. I love him on the stage. Howdy, Brucey. Good, hello.
Yeah.
A quick reminder. We're not here to entertain you. We're here to answer your insightful, unique questions about the first 3 Spider-Man movies anyway. Bruce, I think they know that you're not here to entertain them. You made perfect. Very good. Thank you. We will take insightful questions. You don't even have to line up in front of the actual microphone, because that doesn't work very well sometimes. But you can raise your hand and say, yo, yes, over here.
Who's your favorite stooge?
Who are you asking? I might differ, Sam. You're trading 3 stooge of the 3 stooges.
When you said either stooge, he said, who you asking? He said either stooge.
Oh, good.
There's 4. With love. With love.
Me, it's got to be Mo, because Mo's like all of us. He's like your everyman. He thinks he's smarter than the other 2 guys around him, but he's the dumbest of the bunch. and I like that he answers his own lack of answers with violence. Violence is golden, as the Stooges say. So Mo's the funniest to me, because I can really recognize he's an idiot and kind of trapped in his own stupidity. It's really, really something I can relate to. I mean, for other people.
You know, that's cool, Sam, that Sam likes Mo. Mo's a funny guy. Mo's had his moments. Yeah, but Mo's not Shem. Because you know what? Nobody's Shem. Nobody is Shem. Curly is not even Shem. Curly's too easy. Most guys will go, hey, Curly is funny, he spins around and goes, whoop, 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 whoop. You know, bullshit. That's easy. Curly's too on the nose. Shemp is a performer. Shemp is the ugliest actor in the history of the screen. But he'll never admit it. He's always trying to dress up and impress the ladies, but then his hair goes boom. This horrible, mangy, greasy crap in front of his hideous face. He's my favorite, because he's as funny, but he doesn't even work as hard.
What's your favorite Shemp moment?
My favorite Shemp moment? It's always the dead body in the closet. He's trying to tell a story, and the dead body keeps bumping into him. He goes, hey, cut it out, will you? Cut it out. I'm trying to tell a story here. Come on. And then he's instantly terrified, because the 3 Stooges have no threshold. They're either bragging or screaming. Or in pain. We spoke to Larry Fine, one of the 3 Stooges. We actually got him on the phone in the old actors' home. You hear that? He went to the old actors' home. Well, that's where Larry Fine went, to the old actors' home. And in Michigan, we had to figure out the time difference, because California was 3 hours earlier. His nurse was Mrs. Ross, so we had to ask, we'd call it like 10 or 11, 12:12. It was after lunch. He's still awake. He had lunch. He asked Mrs. Ross if Larry was around. So post-stroke, he didn't have a lot to say, but what the hell? It was Larry. You started this dumb conversation. Okay, that side. Now over here.
2 questions. First, what happened to Ted?
What happened to Ted? Well, you saw that he gave some bullshit intro and left. Yeah, Ted was very clever, wasn't he? If I could figure out how to spend, 4 minutes at a 45-minute session, man, I gotta learn from that kid. He'll never know I'm gone. He's catching a plane in front of all of you. And Ted even told me this to me. He goes, hey, pal, you know what? When you're on stage, sweating through the same answers all over again, I'm going to be up in the sky going, why, yes, I'd like another one. So, there you go, Ted. Hey, don't cry for Ted. He's doing this. Now, Ted, very respectful of your time, clearly. All right, no one will ever see this, so Ted's all right. Ted's safe. Thank you and good night. No Ted, no show. Yeah. Yes, over here.
Me?
Yeah. Wait, was there a two-part question?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'll let him go. I want to know what it was like working with Bill Paxton on Simple Plan. It's a question.
Bill Paxton.
Oh, Bill Paxton, he was a great friend of mine. He was a great actor. And I loved working with him. He was very friendly, and he really wanted to discover the character very deeply. He did a lot of research into this little town where we shot in Wisconsin, and really figured out what the character would wear. And in the movie, he worked at a feed store. So remember, Bill worked for like a week in a feed store to just learn all the details. So then when he was on camera doing what he had to do, he knew all the insides and outs of it. But he was really a sweet and wonderful guy, very funny. He had kind of a dark side that he didn't show to people, but I think it's what fueled his really getting deep into characters and allowing the pain of those characters to come out. He would tap into that dark side. But he was a wonderful guy. He was very supportive of me. When I would have a movie that would do really badly or the critics would attack, Bill would say, "Hey, let's go to the premiere, buddy. Let's go together." And I went, "Oh, wow, that's really nice, Bill, because no one in Hollywood wants to have anything to do with me because the movie's looked upon so badly, but you're a real friend." I didn't say that to him, but I knew he was a real friend for doing things like that. So he'd stand by me when things were bad. And I just loved working with him. I had the luxury not only of directing him in A Simple Plan, but in 1992, I got to work with him in Indian Summer as an actor. And he was great. He was just so friendly and funny. He was kind of a wild guy, too. He'd go out for a drink and would not come back for 2 days. Yeah, buddy, I met up with a rock and roll band and I hung out with them for a while. And it's like, wow. He was really a guy who lived his life very fully. I love Bill Paxton.
Simple Plan's a brilliant film, really. Yeah. I mean,
I'll give you a very good example of why I think Sam is a good director. A Simple Plan is a good choice for that. Watch 2 movies without the sound. Watch Evil Dead 2 and A Simple Plan. You'll see it doesn't look like they're directed by the same person. Because with Evil Dead 2, the camera's always up my nose and spinning in circles around me. Because it's a crazy story, a crazy tale. The house, everything going crazy. He's going crazy. The world's going crazy. So Sam matches the style that the material needs. He doesn't masturbatorially impose his style upon the material. Simple Plan, simple style. Watch Bill Paxton eating at the table with Bridget Fonda. It's just 2 people sitting at a table, eating dinner, intentionally. And then the shit hits the fan, and it gets more complicated. I'm not trying to interpret Sam's work, but a lot of directors will go, then I'll do my cool shot that I always do here, and then I'll do a fly over with a drone. Whoa! Tell the story, dipshit. So Sam's good at, yeah, that's a skill. Good night. Thank you. Because now it's got to pick the right time to end, right? Like,
Yeah.
Good night.
Exactly. You know what? I want to say one more thing about Bill Paxton, relative to what you were saying, Bruce, which is I remember that dinner scene, and yeah, part of it was with the static camera as the couple's eating dinner, but then the scene continued, and Bill would say to me, "What are you after here, Sam? What do you want us to do?" And I said, "I want you to be completely true to your character, and you are somebody that we are really going to relate to because we've seen you at your low-paying job. We've seen that you've got some money problems, you've got some friends, you've got a boss that you kind of don't like that much. You have a lovely wife, she's a little dissatisfied with some aspects of your work, but she loves you. And now what falls into your lap is this pot of gold. And I want to see what happens when a normal person who we identify with in the real world has a pot of gold before them." He said, "Oh, well, you want to see normal people?" I said, "Yeah, that's why we're eating dinner." he said, well, how about we change the end of the scene, and instead of eating dinner, because I know something more normal than eating dinner, Sam. I said, what's that? He says, wrapping up the leftovers. That's what normal people do. He says, I'm always doing that. That's like really even more banal and really something we're always doing. So the scene, we broke it into two parts at Bill's suggestion, and you see them just wrapping up the leftovers and wiping down the table and doing the less romantic parts of eating the dinner. And he always had great little ideas. He'd try and understand what the seed of the thing was, what the idea behind it was, and then he would offer suggestions to get at it in a way that I haven't thought of. So thank you for mentioning that.
He got in the director's seat, he did Frailty, right? Which is, I think really good for us.
Frailty is like this brilliantly terrifying, underrated horror movie. I think it's one of the scariest horror movies I've ever seen.
I think that's when Bill had new appreciation for you, Sam, because I would run into him later on at conventions, and he had just directed and he was there promoting Frailty. I'm like, Bill, how'd it go? He goes, God damn, it's fucking hard directing these movies. Sam had to go through all of that shit, and I'm trying to be in it too, because that's the only way he could make it. He put himself in it.
And you're a guy who directs himself in his movies. I never knew how you did that. I mean, isn't that impossible?
No, I just yell at the guy all the time. Fuck off! What are you doing? You first.
But you have to you go in the scene, you perform it, then you look at the monitor to see what comes out.
Something will always get screwed up. I'll nail the dialogue, and then I don't know what we're going to shoot next. Or, boy, I got this fight scene planned out. What was that monologue again? What was that? Get the cue cards, hold them up. So you have to do twice the amount of work. I don't envy that, but there is a horrible, horrible freedom that does come with that. Because on Hercules and Xena, I did that a couple of times. I directed and acted as Autolycus and as the King of Thieves.
Woo!
And a couple episodes. Well, we had a lot of leeway because no one saw the footage until 3 or 4 days later when you had to physically ship 35mm negative across the ocean from the southern hemisphere. We could get away with fucking murder. And when they get go, what's up with that scene? We go, oh, we're on the next episode. Oh. It was syndicated. There wasn't really a studio.
Yeah, it's true.
So there were times on the set where you look around and you go, we can kind of do whatever we want today. It's a nice feeling because you want that freedom. I've worked on things. Sam has had his own relationship. Sometimes you get a script as an actor that you're not allowed to change. That script had better be good. Like really good. And who says not to change it? Who's this writer? I've worked with a couple of them. Some worth it, some not. It's a clause you can get. It's the Patty Chayefsky clause. The famous writer wrote a movie called Maudie in the 50s. A great writer, Patty Chayefsky. He's the first writer in his contract says, actors don't get to change my words.
That's awesome.
Yeah, son of a bitch. And he got in, so it's the Patty Chayefsky clause. So some writers can invoke that.
When Bruce and I work together, he's always changing the dialogue, but for the better.
That's true, though. No, here's the guy who goes, okay, action, and I say what's sort of scripted. And then I say the whole thing. It's a whole paragraph. And he goes, okay, now you're going to say this. He gives me a whole new paragraph. Hey, spit it shit, wise man. You go blah 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 blah. Like fucking a minute of dialogue out of his mouth that I'm supposed to parrot back now. So half of the footage in Army of Darkness is me going, what is fiction? Okay. Hey, Vice President, no, that's not what I want you to say. So it's like, I can't believe you can't instantly repeat a paragraph. That's working with Sam. Yeah, I'll do it sometime. It's awesome. But it keeps everybody on their toes. I think Sam does it to keep people out of the shot. Because as long as the camera's rolling, the director rules. I saw this on Darkman. I came to visit Sam on the set of Darkman because I wasn't really in it or that involved in it. I hadn't seen what he's up to. Sam is very creatively, technically, always very astute. At Darkman, I show up It's in some warehouse, bad guys doing shit, firing shit, 86 things happening. The dolly track where they pushed, you know, the dolly to get these nice cool moves. It's like 60 feet long. It goes forever, this thing. They set up this whole complicated thing. And action! You know, action, 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 action. And get to the very end. Normally you'd hear, and cut. Sam goes, back to one! Which means, go back, go back. Take the camera back. So the camera guy's going, what the fuck? Come on, all the way back, back to one! And then the actor's going, shit, fuck. So they're tucking their pants in. We're still going, get back to one! Hair people would come in the shot, Sam would go, get out of my shot! He yells it during the shot. And what was great about it is at the end of it, I mean, everyone's sphincter is so tight. But it keeps the energy going, because it's part of the problem on a film set, is to keep it going. If you're shooting an action scene, you get all chuffed up, and then there's a lot of technical stuff, things get quiet, people get all sullen. It's a great way, just torment the crew solid for the entire day. Keeps your energy up.
When Bruce wasn't there, I had to have somebody to torment.
Tobey Maguire. No, it was awesome. By the first Spider-Man, Tobey goes, oh, hi, you're Sam's friend, I see. That's why I have the part. Spider-Man 2, he looks at me and goes, what? Why is he back? What? I got a different job?
He never understands, like, they saw him be the other guy.
He was the other guy. I'm like, don't worry about it. And the third one, he comes in, and I'm the French lady. He goes, oh, I get it. I guess we just can't make a Spider-Man without Bruce Campbell. He's starting to get the way it works around here. So Sam was starting to like get almost violent with him when he was directing him. And Toby at one point sort of looked over at me because you were threatening something. You better get this line right, or I wish you were going to get it. Toby looked at me like, what's that? I go, he's starting to like you. They all come around, even the Hollywood stars.
But Toby finally loved you by the third one.
Because he couldn't get rid of me. I was in a bad check. Oh, what scene are we doing together now? Oh, it's even longer than the other one.
This part kept expanding in the Spider-Man because the audience loved him, and the producers gave me that same thing the first time, the hand on the hip, and then it was like the second time, okay, and the third time it was like, oh, can you get Bruce?
It's about the legacy is what most people don't understand. In the first Spider-Man, Spider-Man wants to be called the Human Spider. My character, the ring announcer, renames him as the Amazing Spider-Man. If I wasn't in the role, that's what the billion-dollar creature is the Human Spider. So I named Spider-Man. Part 2, Spider-Man comes to me, a snooty usher, for help to get in to see Mary Jane, right? Her Broadway debut, but he's late, and the usher doesn't want to let him in because he'll ruin the illusion. Technically, I'm the only character who's ever defeated Spider-Man. Oh yeah, I know. So part 3 that everyone's alluding to, how often does a superhero come to a mortal for help? Comes to me for help, marrying Mary Jane. The 7th of never. That's how often this happens. That superheroes come to mortals asking for help. Well, did I help him? No. Not really. No, because he was kind of a D-bag to me in the first 2 movies.
You got even with him, man.
Yeah, well, I showed him. Should we go try this section again or not really? Yeah, sure.
Me?
Yes, Black Ash, I believe.
Yes, exactly.
Did you get your $5?
I did. I got it. Can I get it signed later, maybe?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. So, I just wanted to say you guys have been a huge inspiration for me since since Spider-Man. When I was 11 years old, I'll be 29 next month, unfortunately, and I just.
Unfortunately, like, your life is over. Yep,
Man.
I'm 30.
The grades are coming in, man. I want to be an actor. Well, I mean, like, I have some
I know
acting
you're
work.
29, man.
hey, I got time. And as an actor, I can neither confirm nor deny if I sign an NDA for something that you may or may not have had your name attached to, a certain horror reality TV show. So I was just curious if you could divulge what exactly happened with it and what exactly it was going to be. And Sam, I know you're going to give us another Evil Dead, so keep me in mind, will you?
You're too old.
Sure, I appreciate that you're recording this. I kind of get a hint that you're doing it more for yourself to hear yourself back.
Oh, not at all.
He has a nice voice, and he does like using it. Your question, which expanded as it went, what was it exactly?
I was
When you say
curious.
alleged, and like, you don't have to sign anything, sir. You're just asking a question.
No, I was referring to the fact that you know how sometimes if you're attached to something, you might have to sign.
Right, and I have signed something that would preclude me from speaking about playing something, a game, are you referring to? You can speak freely.
All right. A few years ago, you were attached to a horror reality TV show.
Right, which failed.
Yes, and I was curious.
That's kind of the end of the story.
What I was curious was, were there any details about what it would have been like had it,
It was a haunted house, like Louisiana-style haunted house with contestants that you would find in a horror movie.
Okay.
The jock, the nerd, the brainy kid, the loose girl. What are we...
Can't make this shit up. Hey, let's meet later.
Yeah, that can only be answered after the show. In your car in the parking lot. Anyway, so...
You name it!
We all know who you are. Where are we looking here? Yes, right here.
I have a question. Does anyone have any questions as to why a show like that would have failed?
Me?
Yeah.
I was attached. I mean, I signed an NDA. I don't know anything.
Oh wait, you were to be a contestant.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we didn't get off the ground.
Hey, that's show
We were
business.
approved by the Sci-Fi Channel, and then when they slot stuff around, sometimes things fall out, and I believe we were one of those fall outs.
Understandable.
Caught in development hell, as they say sometimes. So you were just a victim of development hell. Welcome to Hollywood. Yes. You get to the alternate ending of Army of Darkness.
And you're in the future.
Yeah.
And then we get to season 3 of After Evil Dead, and you're in the future. And then we get nothing. So is there anything where we're going to get to see that in the future?
Well, we're going to do another Evil Dead that starts in the present and ends in the future, and that's it. Actually, yeah, the first Evil Dead we made to end in the far-flung future, and the studio thought it was too much of a downer. That this character is so stupid that he slept through all of civilization. And they said you need a happier ending. So we wanted Universal to release it, so we reshot the ending with Bruce coming back to Asmart and destroying the Deadites. But then after a few seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead, Rob Tapert, I think, decided to end it also in the far-flung future.
Well, we were concerned that we knew our ratings were not that great. Ash vs. Evil Dead was one of the most highly pirated shows on television. So you nailed it there.
Hey, I paid, man. I paid.
And so we were concerned about going into the third season, because at the end of the second season, we were like, hey, how about those big fat numbers, stars? What are we rocking over there? And they were like, our numbers were low. We thought, okay, if it keeps going in this direction, a lot of shows are canceled in the off season. And fans and actors are left going, huh? And a lot of times you think it's intentional. It isn't. These are business decisions sometimes. The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. ended on a cliffhanger at some point. I never said goodbye to the cast members because they didn't know at the time of finishing it whether we were going to be canceled or not. We weren't sure. So we thought, okay, let's build up to something, pay off a little bit of the mythology of Ash. He's not just a loser in a trailer home. There's drawings of him in ancient books. This guy, there's something else going on here. Pay off a little more of that and send him off on his crazy journey. Because then if it did get picked up, I think we had a pretty strong season 4. Yeah. Right? I think it would have been, it would have been exactly what you think it would have been. Kicking ass, taking names in the future, you know.
Kelly and Pablo in the future.
Oh, we'll worry about that. It was all there. There were plans. It's all there. Portals. Come on, don't worry about it. But because they did cancel it, we feel that we did whatever we could under the circumstances to give it satisfactory. At least they can go, yeah, go Ash, go. You can finally, get back to business again.
Awesome job.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're really glad, Sam. We pitched that somebody did it, and Starz let us do a version that is essentially unrated. It's unrated television, as you know from Ash's head being pulled up a cadaver's butt. That's not a PG, TV kind of thing. Yes. Yeah.
Actually, the head of the butt brought around because I actually had a question about that.
The head of the butt brought that right around.
Every time I'm watching kind of ridiculous scenes where you know that the actor is like, oh yeah, here's a puppet, fight with it, or something like that, I always try to imagine what it would be like to film a scene like that. And that was my example of a ridiculous scene of how do you prepare yourself, and what is it like to shoot a scene where you're literally going to shove your head up something's ass?
I don't think it's possible to prepare. You asked a lot of questions like, can I breathe from here to from the entrance to the pop-out part? What's the breathing situation? How long is this going to last? This shot, when does it end? How do I know when we're done with this portion? And what is the goal? Is this trying to get it off right away? Am I disoriented? Am I spinning around and bumping into things? What's happening? Once the head goes on, what do you do? It's like that, Sam. You'd be blocking with Bill Paxton. Bill would turn to you and go, Sam, I'm through the asshole backwards. What do you think I would do first? Would I try and get it off right away? Or would I go, oh my God, and it would throttle me? Is it back and forth? They get a little something in, and I get a little something in, and it's in a mortuary, so there are tools, there are implements. So you have to determine that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think Bruce is describing it really well because it's more like, I think, when he does his shticks, preparing for a dance. Bruce is a very physically capable guy with great rhythm and timing physically, and I think he's thinking about the right things. Where's the camera? Where does the scene start? What's my goal? Like any actor is asking that in any scene. What do I want? You want to breathe.
Well, plus, there's a rubber penis in your face. Don't forget that. It's a rubber penis, but it's got what they call down in the Southern Hemisphere a Prince Albert. Yeah, yes. Oh, she points right away. Yes. That means it's a pierced penis. It's a Prince Albert. Why it's called Prince Albert? Maybe he was a daring fellow.
I'm not sure why the discussion is heading in this area.
Because it impaired my vision. And I'm like, So, with your camera, can you see my face, or is it about the Prince Albert? Am I wasting my freaking time with this thing on my head is really what the point was. Should we keep the Prince Albert dressed to one side? These are all considerations with our craft. Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
this goes to Sam. Have you ever seen the movie Bubba Hotep?
Did I see Bubba Hotep? Yeah, I saw it. I loved it. I think it was at the premiere with Bruce Campbell in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard.
I think they did it at the Egyptian.
It was great.
This is perfect.
Crowd went absolutely nuts. They loved it. They loved that movie.
Coscarelli captured that. That had another penis in it as well. So I guess it's just one big penis discussion. Speaking of which, Sam, you have to decide as a director, what are you going to show, what are you going to not show in a horror film, or violence, how graphic does it get? So that was my question to Don Coscarelli for Bubba Hotep. I said, are you going to see it? Meaning his cancerous penis. Are you going to see it? Because if you see it, then you're entering a territory that you can't come back from. He goes, no, we're going to apply it. Then we're good to go. And now you'll think about it, and it'll be worse than seeing it. In some cases.
I think he was thinking about perhaps showing it at some point.
He may have constructed one.
He ordered a set of magnifying lenses.
Nice. Well, I was playing Elvis, after all. And he was on multiple narcotics that would have restricted capillaries.
You are playing the role, man.
Oh, I did all 8 drugs that he was on. Maybe I was straining at stool too. That's what people don't realize. It makes so much sense that he died straining at stool. If you're on 8 narcotics, at least one of them has to be a stool softener. No one wants to laugh that hard, but the people in the audience, more than 4 medications goes so hard. Is this about cancer?
I just want to say I kind of made your character in Dead by Daylight.
Woo!
Yeah.
You made my character?
Made. My
Made.
main character. Made.
That's your main character,
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Only did like 4 lines.
Oh no.
Good, it'll prep you for the Evil Dead game that's coming out. Get a little teasy-weasy.
Please tell me VR.
What's that? No, it's not. Let me tell you, it is VR or it isn't?
Is it?
No. Is that good?
No.
It's fine.
Most people are happy about that. VR freaks are not. So happy. I can't go backwards, man. Sure.
I might be odd man out here. Most people, this is for Bruce, but the question's going to be both of you. Most people know you guys from the Evil Dead stuff. My actual first encounter with Bruce Campbell was when you voiced Jake Burton in a video game called Broken Helix 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So my question for both of you is, what is your favorite project, any media, that you are least known for?
Good question.
Favorite project you are least
Insightful,
known
baby.
for? That you thought was the shizzle. But nobody saw your sizzle. I have one.
I think for me, my favorite one that people haven't heard of is Drag Me to Hell.
That fucking goat!
Oh, thanks, man. Failed at the box office, and it kind of disappeared quickly. But
Sequel!
I don't have a story for the sequel. the main character is no longer around, so I'm not sure where we'd start.
The boyfriend goes to the hell to find her.
How soon can you start on the screenplay?
Sky High.
What about you, Brucey?
It's a movie that was not released at Escape, called Highly Functional.
Oh.
I so nailed it. Literally, not even like a. The hands couldn't even come together. What?
I think you misunderstood the question, Bruce.
No.
It was saying a good picture.
No. This was a movie that by the time I was done filming, the director had been fired and the producer quit. And I'm like, you sons of bitches. Here in Gallup, New Mexico. A guy had written a great part, Chili Youngfield. He's a country western star, had one hit called It Ain't the End. And it's the only song he didn't write. He wrote all of his other stuff. And he only had one hit, and it was It Ain't the End, and it's the only song he didn't write. And that's what everybody wants to hear, but he doesn't want to play that anymore. He wants to play the stuff that he wrote. So we find him at a pharmaceutical convention on a Native American reservation performing, and they keep shouting, play It Ain't the End, play It Ain't the End. So he has a bad experience with that. That's where we meet Chili Youngblood. So he goes to leave, and he meets a guy who pulls a gun on him, who's autistic, who has a caregiver named Dan, who had a heart attack back in Colorado, in Longmont, Colorado. And we're in New Mexico. And he's going to kidnap me and take me back to sing It Ain't the End for Dan, because that's Dan's favorite song. So it is a very twisted road trip with a broken down country western singer and an autistic kid at gunpoint to go sing It Ain't the End for Dan, because he's dying. And just the parts that they wrote were just, to me, it was, you couldn't have written for me a better part. And look, I don't consider myself a lazy actor, but this is the one I went, I can't screw this up. I'm vomiting dialogue through half of this movie, telling stories and all this kind of shit. I can't get caught with my pants down because this is going to be everywhere. And some works of art just vaporized. So everyone got fired. And then a few people got rehired, and now I don't know where it is, and this was about 4 years ago now.
They finished shooting?
Oh yeah, oh no, it's done. It's done. I have it on Vimeo. I have the code. Yep, I can watch it. Cute little movie. Yep, I'm gonna leak that son of a bitch.
Do
WikiLeaks. How about that? Okay, thank you for that.
Before you guys came out, they showed this documentary type of thing where you talked about making the first Evil Dead, all you had to do was financing, versus the movie made after that called Crime. And how you talked about being disappointed in all the interference. So, what have you learned through your career about making what you love versus what might have a lot of interference and take away from you? How do you approach things differently? You know, we have different voices that aren't just your own.
So you asked about the creative differences of dealing with studios,
Versus
their input, which can be very active input, very demanding input. Sam's pretty good at that. He worked with a lot of bossy people. He did. Work with these studios, man. They got a lot of people with a lot of opinions, because they're paid to have these opinions. If they sat back there and just were Jenkins in the boardroom, they're not going to get paid. They got to say crap, even if it doesn't make any sense. So Sam's been around that.
Yeah, obviously, the only right thing to do is to make something you love. But it's hard to do that for a lot of reasons. We loved, we only made comedies, for instance. And when we were in high school and college, that's all we did. And then Rob Tappert, our buddy, said, look guys, if we want to make a break into the feature film business, we have to make a horror movie. And I went, I don't like horror movies. They suck. They scare me. I don't know a thing about them. So he said, well, the only kind of movie that's playing in a drive-in theater is a horror movie, meaning the only kind of movie that's made for what we would make it for, $150,000 to $500,000, are horror movies. They don't make love stories back then for that price that will show in the movie theaters. So we had to do something we didn't love to do something we did love. And that's usually that weird combination of that's in the movie business, because you need so much money to make these movies. And in the process of making the movie, and we realized, oh, well, this is just a unique art form we weren't familiar with, and Bruce and I started to have more and more fun with it, and felt more and more comfortable with it, and started to actually turn those horror movies into comedies, because that's all we had ever really made. We just felt more and more comfortable. Well, let's just do it our way. Let's just make it funnier. That's what we wanted to do anyways. And we turned something we didn't love into something we did. But, I don't mean to be confusing about the answer, but oftentimes you got to make a movie for a studio because they're the only group you can work with that has like $5 to $10 million to $100 million to make whatever your vision for this thing is. And a lot of rules come with that. You know, it has to be released in a wide audience. Therefore, it has
a certain rating. There's a lot of pressure to get it PG, PG-13.
Exactly. Yes, you suddenly can't have gore or violence or words that are ugly. And so there are compromises you have to make. You've got to make sure what your goal is suitable for the group you're making it for. And in that way, you can preserve doing something that you love, but still working in a medium or for a group that has certain expectations and limitations. Your goal just has to be right for the group you're working for. And that way, I think you can always hang on to some part of what you love in everything you do with movies.
Do you think you look back to that time and think, I was naive and I didn't know that I could just go and make a film? Because I think most people should do that. If they love something, do it, right?
Well, we love making movies, but when we had to drop out of college and take jobs as busboys, waiters, cab drivers, to raise the money to put together a private placement memorandum to raise the money for a movie. So you can't just go out and shoot a feature film. You go out and shoot your own movies and show them on the internet, that's for sure. And I highly recommend that for anybody who has creative spirit. For you filmmakers in the crowd, Bruce and I always believe the best thing for you to do is to film a movie every month. Write a script over the course of a week, get your buddies together, shoot it, edit it, show it. That's the most important thing. And see where it's failing, and see where it's working. And where it's failing, cut that scene out next time. And where it's working, expand that gag, give a little more material you left in the editing room, and show it again. And this way you start getting reactions from the audience, you start seeing what works, you get a sense of timing, you take it back to the editing room, you recut it, you apply that sense of timing, and you start practicing your craft. And then you do it again next month, another movie, and another. If you keep doing that, you'll be a filmmaker. And in that way, you're doing the thing you love. When you work professionally, though, there are a set of rules where you have to make compromises because so much money's at stake. Yes?
Do you think you'll ever work with Danny Elfman again?
Yes, I hope to. I mean, I love Danny Elfman. He did the score for Darkman. He did the score for Spider-Man. He did Spider-Man 2, and then we had a horrible falling out, and he said he'll never work with me again. And then he didn't do Spider-Man 3 or Drag Me to Hell, but then he wanted to work together again, so we made up, and he did And, you know, fights between actors and directors, or composers and directors, are common because there's so much passion, and you believe so strongly in what you're doing, and so might the other person. They may have an opposing opinion. And they usually do. Usually you come up with something better. But sometimes you clash. And the intensity, Danny Elfman's passion and love, and mine for Spider-Man 2 were so great that that clash broke us apart. So it's natural, not unnatural, for creative people to get roused every once in a while. Unfortunately, Danny has a very big heart. He forgave me, and I'm hoping one day to forgive him.
Yes, over there.
Okay, I gotta do a real quick question. Now, with the newer people, they're doing Kickstarter, they're doing like different things to get their money together. Is that something you would be open-minded to? Because we all want to see Ash kick the shit out of Jason and Freddy one day. What happened to that project? Come on, you would totally slaughter them.
Bruce, it was a lot of years ago, but I have my version of it.
Yeah, go for it. I have a version too. Why it never happened? Ash versus Freddy versus Jason.
My remembrance was we wanted control over the character, and we didn't want Ash to die, and we basically wanted Ash to kick their butt, kill those monsters.
Right, and so we were told you have no control over any dialogue other than Ash. And you can't kill any of the other two characters. So we were like, Snoresville. So that didn't happen. A lot of people wonder why. And then from a business perspective, we're splitting the dough 3 ways.
Now, if you had a Kickstarter, though, you know, if you have somebody else, like, all the fans will pitch in. It doesn't matter how much money we all have to pitch in, we would pitch in. Would you be willing to work with a Kickstarter or something like that, like independent kind of film? If we all pitched in?
For Ash versus Freddy versus Jason?
Just anything, any love project, you know, would you go towards that way if you wanted to just do your own thing without worrying about the studios, having control over, you know, your craft?
Well, the first one will never happen because it's like we've got Rocky as a character and they're saying he can't win a fight ever. So he's a monster slayer, he can't slay monsters, so he'll never probably fight them. And I understand why they don't want him to kill them. But a Kickstarter movie, we never thought about it.
No, I can't sign that many free dinner coupons. Banners, coupons, keychains, an evening with. Are we having sex? What's happening? No, thank you, sir. No, thank you. No, I tried to Kickstarter, it failed.
Last man standing.
Ever do it again. Because most fans, look at it this way. Fuck you, Campbell, what do you need that money for? You're carrying around on pillows. Limousines and blowjobs, man. What the fuck you coming to us for? I work in the loading department. What's with you? That's sort of the feedback. Okay, let's be done with that. Now, plus I've sort of retired the character of Ash. I've retired my version of it. We want to make more movies with more characters, regardless of what their name is. There's a lot of scenarios. We just were pitched a very compelling scenario by a new up-and-coming filmmaker to carry the mantle on. Why wouldn't you want to see these hungry young filmmakers take an interesting concept of threatening the lives of ordinary people during the course of a seemingly unstoppable force, threatening normal people. No skills, no spandex suits, nothing. We think that's a compelling scenario.
Do you have a problem with spandex suits?
Oh, no. No, the red and black ones are all good.
What do you mean, red and blue?
Well, what color was Mysterio's outfit? What color was that one?
I won't say. Yeah.
My question's for you, Sam. I know you're relatively new to the convention circuit. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
So I'm curious, like, what are your thoughts about the convention and the convention crowd, and also what kind of advice did Bruce give you?
Actually, Bruce said it was a blast, and he said, you should try it, and I did. Yeah, I went to one other one, Texas Frightmare, and it was really interesting. And along with this one, the people here are really nice in Chicago. I thought they were great, very friendly, and I thought this particular festival was very well organized. And it's interesting to see what effect your film had on people, whether they didn't like it or liked it very much. Or some parts it didn't work for them, or some parts they didn't understand. Years later, you go, oh my God, I didn't understand it had that effect on you. So it's very enlightening, and I'm very appreciative of the fans and how sweet they are toward the movies and their affection for them. So I'm really buoyed up by it, and I want to thank you guys very much for all the love you've shown Bruce and I.
You realize you have impacted people's lives. A kid came up to me at the table recently, and he threw my autobiography down, and he goes, "Sign my book." I'm like, "Okay there, pal, we'll get right to that. What's your name?" He goes, "Ash." I go, "Yeah, you're funny. What's your name?" Like Joe or Ken. He goes, "My name's Ash. My parents named me after your stupid movie." Have a good life, Ash. Poor fucker. I think we'll probably do like 3 more amazing, insightful questions and then we'll be back to your lives. Yes.
I was wondering if you guys were ever romantically involved with any co-stars.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else. You work closely.
Or if you wanted to or had.
Now, really, is that something like Sam's going to go, "Oh yeah, here's my list." Look at the guy. He's working with some very maliciousness.
No.
I get to perform infidelity on camera. So I can lip lock Elizabeth Hurley, no ramifications whatsoever. Maybe it was in the script. She just punched me. I can't help that. Lori Loughlin did a TV movie, Bank Robber, Yuppie Bank Robbers. We were lip locking. Yeah, I don't care if you clap or not about that. She's not a bad kisser.
Beggars and choosers. How about
Beggars
that
and
one?
choosers. I kissed a man. Because they said, "Would you kiss a man?" I said, "Let me see the man first." And the actor I was kissing was gay. So I was kind of like, how did I do? Right? My character was playing a rough, kind of Rock Hudson guy, like an outdoorsman, who was secretly gay. So I kissed him and I had to have stubble. And I go, "Look, I'm so sorry, I got all this stubble." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm used to that too." I was like, "Yeah, you would be used to that." I don't know, it was enlightening, those some roles. Where did we even get to that? Section of co-stars. No, great opportunities abounded. I mean, look, there's some actresses who make it a point to shtup the co-star. It's the only way I can get close to them. How do I get in those movies? Yeah? Yes. Perhaps the second to last question.
So I'm curious, Sam has had you do a lot of crazy things on camera over the years. Is there anything he's asked you to do that you just refused? And conversely, Sam, is there anything you've had second thoughts after you've asked Bruce to do that on camera?
Second thoughts about, has Sam asked me anything that I've refused to do?
No, just if he's had second thoughts after seeing what he put you through.
No, he's never remorseful that I'm never aware of. You know, he's always concerned for my safety. You know,
There's one time, I have one remorse.
Let's hear that. Let's get the cameras out.
It was the time in Evil Dead 2 when we strapped you to that board.
Oh yeah.
And we had the dump tank, the 50-gallon barrels above you
Well,
of paint.
to give the example, in order to get Ash is going crazy, shooting at his disembodied hand in Evil Dead 2. Can't find it, shooting lots of holes. Eventually blood comes out of the holes. You were dissatisfied with the force that it came out of the holes. Because it always had to build up with a pump that goes, it would come up slowly to speed, and it was not fast enough. Sam wanted a burst in the face. So the simple trick was simple but nightmarish, but effective. So do this with your head. Follow me. Tilt, as I tilt your head sideways. I'm supposed to be standing up, right? I'm standing up looking around like this. So now I'm on a board, but keep tilting your head until it looks like I'm standing up. Right? You have to go fully sideways. Now I'm standing up, right? Someone say yes.
Yes!
Right. Hey, wait, hold on. The 55-gallon drum now is directly above me. Yeah. And I go to Sam. Hey, Sam, how do we know if it's aimed right? Sam goes, drop a few drops. The fucking drop hit me right in the center of the forehead. Sam goes, yeah, we're ready. now to show how much he cares, I go, Sam, how long will this last?
He always has the same question.
Sam has no answer though, so he looks to the special effects guy. Hey pal, like he's, Mr. Authority. Hey, how long is this gonna last? He shrugs, I don't know. He goes 55-gallon drums. 55 gallons worth? I don't know, man. I don't know how long it's gonna take. So Sam goes, if you're drowning, wave your arms around. I'm like, that's what I'm fucking supposed to do anyway. He goes, shut up and do it! Just shut up and do it! So, that's what you do. And you wait, and you empty, and it empties, and it empties. And then for the next 2 weeks, you're blowing shit out your nose. Because it found spaces up in there that I didn't know had existed.
It really hits hard. I mean, it drives down with so much force when you open one of those barrels of 50 gallons falling for like 2 stories. It was the top of the gymnasium, and it came down so hard, it went wham! We all heard it. Oh my God!
No, that's not how Sam reacts. I know exactly how, when he likes a take, I'll hear him laughing behind the monitor. You could be getting raped by a tree. If I hear Sam go, here we go, cut! There's no way, you're going to go again. No question about it. So,
that was a gallon of 50 gallons of black paint that we dropped on him. And after the take, Bruce said, how'd I do? And I said, great. He said, are we done? I said, yes, with the black. We've got the green, yellow, blue. So we had to do with the alternate colors.
But it was very safe. Very, very safe. Okay, maybe the last one? We keep trying, yeah.
Hey? With me?
Sure, you guys, this whole section is confused.
Right
there.
Okay, so this is for Bruce. Do you have plans for another book, either autobiography or other?
One that's out now, you mean?
Or just in the future, do you have plans for another book?
Future book? You mean the one that you didn't even read at the latest? You wouldn't be asking that question if you read the latest book.
I did.
Paperback comes out September 17th.
Okay, beyond...
Beyond what, beyond, there is no beyond, there's now, sir. Did you read the...
I read Hail to the Chin, yes.
Okay. So you wanted to move beyond that, even though I'm still selling it. You get the e-book, everything's in color.
Are you done living?
Yeah, there will be more books. There will be more books, and 15 years from now, I will do the final confessions of a B-movie actor, completing the George Lucas style. So I think maybe on behalf of the great Sam Rami, we want to say thank you for coming.